Guys, welcome to the very first episode of Going Deep with Brett English. And what a better way to start it off than with Chocolate Daddy himself, Douglas Karunakaran. And I beg you to be patient with me. This is my first porno. And we're diving deep with Chocolate Daddy. All right.
I love that.
Bro, I first just want to congratulate you, man, on all that you've achieved. And when I started my healing journey seriously, you were actually the second person that popped up. Probably the most powerful masculine figure and the most supportive figure in my life from everything I was doing, just from dance. I remember you just hyping me up. I think I won one of the little games that we played. You were so ecstatic. When I started my first business, you were the guy in my corner, giving me shout outs, giving me testimonials, referring me clients, and just, I probably couldn't have done it without you, man. So for that, your birthday was just recently, and I was like, what do I give a man who's got seemingly everything that he needs, you know? So I got you something.
I love gifts. I love gifts.
And this is...
Make some space.
This is an award.
Ooh!
What we got here is the 2022 Gentleman of the Year from Aura Juice, Sir Chocolate Daddy. That's for you,
what? Bro!
Yeah.
Sir Chocolate Daddy. Thank you so much. Man, I haven't won an award in a long time.
Man, 2022 Gentleman of the Year.
Oh, bro. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you, bro. Wow. We're not even through 2022 and
hey man, it's already been decided. Landslide.
Wow.
I'm gonna open this up, bro.
Thank you, man. So honored to be here.
So I wanted to dive deep with you into your life, and one of the big things that I saw, that your dad is a Christian minister, pastor.
Pastor, yeah.
Quite a powerful one. He's obviously expelled dark spirits and things of that nature, which is very biblical, very powerful. And then your uncle, another powerful figure in your life, who is a very devout Hindu.
A Hindu guru.
Yeah. And I noticed you got the tattoo on your chest, Shiva. And how did you balance those two worlds and bring it in to make it your own?
Yeah. Beautiful question, man. And also, in the last couple of months, my beautiful uncle, the guru, he has left this world. Unfortunately, he's passed away, but I'm here celebrating him and carrying on his lineage and his blood through me. And he was such a powerful example of the contrast of what my father was. And my dad, being a Christian pastor, very disciplined in the Bible and only the Bible. So being brought up in a household for 18 years of my life, I was blessed to receive the wisdom, the stories, the narration, and the breakdown of what the Bible is in the opinion and the walk of life that my father went through.
Yeah.
And yeah, just witnessing my father perform miracles and praying for people, praying for couples that haven't conceived a child for more than 12 years, and then him praying for them. He would receive phone calls months later saying, hey, we had our baby.
Wow.
And
wow.
just
shivers down the right side of my body.
Things like that I can't deny. I can't deny him as the man of God. And he then, in my experience of my father, I saw my father step in front of hundreds and thousands of people and just preach so powerfully. And he would channel in moments like, as he's praying, he's like, there's a man in the crowd and his name is this. His last name is this. He was born in this place. If there is a man in the crowd with such name, please step onto stage because I have something for you. And there will be a man from the crowd that emerges. And he's like, it's me.
Wow.
This is my first name, this is my last name, this is where I'm from. And then I've witnessed this process where he just starts speaking about visions that he's getting about this man. And he would be like, I want to pray for you right now. And he would pray for this man and he would receive liberation or freedom or deep healing and deep peace from this prayer. And I would see the state of the man shift from who he used to be to just being so ecstatic in receiving that prayer from my father and his whole life changing.
Wow.
So this transformation of seeing a man just like break in front of like hundreds of people and come through was a powerful example of Christianity and what the power of prayer can do. And then I met my uncle. My uncle is a very, very strange but a powerful man as well. He spoke very clearly, and the words that he would choose to use were just very powerful. So, and he would always bestow wisdom upon me. He's like, Douglas, and he would just like straight up just tell me something. And one of the most profound things that he told me and wrote down on my book for me is like, this is something that I'm going to write for you for this life. And he wrote down, within knowledge, seek to grow, and within honor, seek to live. And it's so small, but just that phrase for this life has made me such a devoted student to knowledge and being open to all the information that is out there, and then deciding what is for me. And also in being a great student, it's allowed me to be a really good teacher as well, because once I've learnt information, what is for me, and embodied it, I'm like, man, this is powerful, and it's now my responsibility to teach it as a teacher, and then within honor seek to live. Living an honorable life for me has been one of my greatest principles after reading that, and considering my journeys as honorable journeys for me has been very powerful, because I can decide in the moment, is this honoring my values? Is this honoring myself? Is this honoring my family, my tribe, my mission, my purpose? And if it's not honoring that, then I won't be doing it. And it's just really allowed for me to center back into who I am. So he's a powerful man. And I say powerful because I'll give you an example, man. We were in India. And in India, the population is like 2 billion people. That's a lot of people. And we were in South India, in Madurai, the heart of Tamil Nadu, where I'm from, where my blood is from. And we were at a temple, Madurai Meenakshi Amman Koil. And this temple is huge, massive. And on a Friday night, my uncle said, there's about 200 to 300,000 people flooding into the temple from each gate. There's 4 gates, and they're all coming into this temple. And you had to line up for hours to get in on a Friday night. And my uncle rocked up there, and he just made one phone call. Police came to that temple, and they escorted us straight into the temple, and they were there the whole time.
Wow.
And the police that came down to escort us weren't just normal police officers. They were like the head of different districts. Those policemen came to like escort us through this temple. And we had so much space within the temple to like see and watch. And I was like, how does a man shift the world so quickly for us to have an experience in a temple where it's flooded but have so much space within? And the way he shifted through that space and was so calm and present and still bestowing wisdom upon me in that journey really inspired me as to how he held himself and how his teachings were so important for the people around him, including these big elite police officers and inspectors, I guess. And what really came to me in my walk of life was abrupt change. So after 18 years of being with my father and learning from him and being his son, I was so tunnel visioned into Christianity, and I was in worship bands. I praised God, I worshiped God, I prayed. I was so devoted to Christ. I didn't touch alcohol, I didn't have sex till I was 18 because I was so devoted to Christ, and I enjoyed that journey until I started asking some questions to my dad. I'm like, hey Dad, I really want to know about Hinduism, I really want to know about Buddhism, I really want to know about Judaism. And I was curious, I was like, I would love to learn about these other religions. And my dad, before he became a Christian, he was a Hindu man. And he would say to me, don't worry about them. The only truth that you need to know is right in front of you, and it's in this Bible. And his passion for Christ was so large and so powerful that he denied me the opportunity to learn from these different religions.
Yeah.
And I always was like curious. I'm a rebel at heart. I'm like, but I really want to fucking know. I really want to know what's in these other religions.
That fed the fire even more, like the denial or the suppression of it, right?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
And I was being suppressed to information, and I didn't like that. And then when I left my home, I decided, I'm like, I'm gonna start fresh. I'm gonna start fresh, and I'll tell you a story where why I left home as well. I got gifted this book to me when I was 17 to 18 years old. The book is by Osho. The book is called Tantra: The Supreme Understanding.
Nice. I love Osho.
And I did not know what Tantra was. Oh man, I have a beautiful bowl to throw up right now about Tantra, and we'll catch it towards the end.
Yeah.
I did not know what Tantra was. When I started reading this book, after 10 pages, man, I just felt my mind. I felt my mind just cracking open, and I just felt this energy flow through my mind, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? And every page that I was reading afterwards, I was just so absorbed in, and it came to a point in the book where he talks about killing your father and mother.
Oh wow.
And it sounds pretty severe, right? And when I read those words, I'm like, what am I reading right now?
Yeah.
But the chapter is actually about killing them in my mind as my mom and dad, so that I could see them as humans, and I can treat them as humans, and see their conditioning, see their behaviors and personalities, and recognize them as humans instead of putting the expectations on my mom and dad as mom and dad, which really humanized them to me, instead of seeing them as gods and parents.
Yeah.
And it was so important, because once I read that, I realized that I was conditioned.
Yeah.
I was conditioned, and I wanted to break free of that conditioning. So I went away. From 18 years of from my 18th birthday onwards, that's when my true awakening started. I just started reading a lot of other books, and I stepped away from Christianity, and I stepped away from God in a sense, because I was like exploring different religions, seeking truth. And in my journey of seeking truth, everything that I read about Hinduism, and it was so powerful how Hinduism came into my life as well, especially God, Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
Man, I just started experiencing a lot of magic in my reality, in this 3D realm of Lord Shiva. He would appear to me in such magical ways, where my whole body would just be like just goosebumps, man. His story of him being a cosmic dancer, him being so beautiful, him going on extreme measures for his devotion to self and his inner God, and his energetics of destroying things that is not of service to create life. All those just resonated deeply with me, and I understood when I started questioning myself. I'm like, so I've experienced Jesus, and I felt Jesus' unconditional love and his unconditional infinite love, man. Infinite love. I felt that to the point where I wanted to run and jump and scream, and I was crying. And I'm also feeling Shiva. And I was like, what is true God? And then I realized that it does not matter who my God is, as long as I can feel and be inspired by these stories to find my own sense of truth within self.
Beautiful. And
then I realized that I think it was a documentary that I was watching called what is it? It was fucking mind blowing, man. Anyways, in this documentary, I hope it comes to me. They talk about religion, and they talk about the purpose of religion, and how these different stories and archetypical stories are for humans, because humans cannot perceive God, but humans can perceive story. And from the story, our consciousness piggybacks on that story and learns from the morals, and we can attach ourselves to the character of the story and embody the values and embody the energetics of the character. So when I was younger, I would watch Spider-Man, and I'd be like, fuck, I want to be like Spider-Man. I'd run around, I'd jump, and I'll do parkour, and I'm like, I'm Spider-Man. Yep. And I still love that. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a part of me now.
Bro,
you know?
I have dreams like that all the time, man.
Right?
Fucking doing webs and shit. Flying like Superman, all that, bro.
Yes, yes. Things that inspire me from within, right? So I was like, cool, if they are just stories, then I'm here to collect as many stories as I can to find my truth in all of them. Leonidas is a really good example as well. As a leader, I study him so much.
Leonidas?
Yes.
Can you fill us in who that is? I actually don't know.
Leonidas is the general or the man that led the 300 Spartans.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And just who he had to be to lead 300 men to face the sheer number of the Persian army and leave a mark and a story that ripples through time and space.
Yeah.
You know, like just stories like that. I really started realizing that these stories of other religions are here to serve me, and I can take from them what I want to, just like I've taken what I wanted to from my father and my uncle. So yeah, these blending of different religions to serve me has not only allowed me to be a better man and be more open to other religions, be more open to other information out there, and accepting other religions out there instead of being so patriotic about my own religion. I now have the heart to just be open to information, through knowledge, seek to grow. And I love all the different religions of the land of Earth, because they all stem from their culture. They all stem from something that can relate back to the roots of that land, that all point towards the heaven within and the heaven above. So that's how I've managed to center myself into my own religion. And I say gods quite often because I truly believe that we are all gods on earth. We're all representations and animations and also the avatars of gods. And gods can only experience each other like this here. And humbly, that comes with a set of responsibility. And as servants of gods, or weapons of gods, or whatever you want to call. For me, I call myself a servant of God. I'm here to be of service to the people of this earth and of this land. So I'm going to soak up as much as I can from this land, information and nutrition and nourishment, so that I can inform and nourish this land and nourish people around me.
Beautiful, man. That was captivating. And that just reminded me of a quote that I read in a book. It was like, God doesn't favor any group of people or any sect or any religion. He gives them all masters and all teachers from all walks of life on the land. You know, so it's amazing you can break that view and you can feel your mind opening as you're reading to other stories. And you've embodied it so beautifully, man. That's fucking amazing.
Thank you, man.
I want to talk to you about something I see a lot of people do. They change their name. Aubrey Marcus changed his name. Post Malone changed his name. G. Madison changed his name. I noticed you got a nickname, Chocolate Daddy.
Yes.
But what effects do you reckon that has on a person to actually change their name and sort of to radically transform their ego or their self-identity? What are your thoughts on that?
Ooh, I like this. So, firstly, I just want to say I'm so proud of being Douglas Karunakaran. That is how I came into this earth. And I believe there's a very specific reason why my flesh has been named Douglas Karunakaran. I happen to love my name. Douglas is a very powerful name. Karunakaran, Karuna means mercy in my language, and Karan means being, so merciful being, which is just a good energetic for me to be in this lifetime. And although I am birthed as Douglas Karunakaran, I don't like to be just confined to one name or one personality. Chocolate Daddy is an expression of mine, a mask that I discovered through my walk of life that gives me the permission to then step into something that I'm not. That gives me the ability to be like, okay, cool. I want to be wild, fucking reckless, and I want to have as much fun as I can and bring as much juice and sauce I can into this world through this mask of Chocolate Daddy. When I say I'm Chocolate Daddy, people's energy are like, Chocolate Daddy? Like, you know, their energy shifts, their persona shifts. They just shift towards that name, and it either brings a lot of joy or excitement into the space. And I like that. I like embodying this other version of myself as well. What I truly believe about this that I don't agree with is to literally step away from your actual name to then fully become something else. And I completely accept everyone that has done this for their own reasonings and for their own change of identity.
Yeah.
I don't, there's a lot of reasons why I could say why they did that. I feel like it's important to embrace how we came into this earth exactly as what we are in the flesh, not to change the flesh, not to alter the flesh, because what God has given us and gifted us in flesh is our greatest gift. And if we go altering this, it is almost slapping God in the face and saying, what you did was not good enough for me.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
For this ego, for this whatever reason, right? And now it is better because I say so. And there is a part of me that thinks that, but also another part of me is like, people have gone through a lot of hurt, pain, misery in their life, and sometimes it requires a full death, and a full death means a complete let go of who they were, including name, so that they can embrace a new identity forged from the ashes of their past.
True.
Right, and that's a very big symbol to change your name. It's a very big symbol and a ripple to earth and universe to say, I'm no longer this, I'm this. It's a statement. It's a huge statement. For me, I have been consumed by the mask of Chocolate Daddy. It was running the game. This mask was running my life.
Like the mask in the movie with Jim Carrey? Like,
yes.
boom.
Bro, it really, really does. It really does. And there's been a lot of different masks that have been running the game for me subconsciously. For example, right now, like a part of me, and I'm just going to be open and vulnerable here, a part of me realizes that I deeply seek approval and validation from people, especially women. And this mask of mine, which is me, and it could stem from the walk of life that it stems from the walk of life that I've just had. This still exists within me, and it still shows up without my permission, without my awareness, and it runs the game until now that I'm aware of it. I'm like, I'm actually seeking approval in this moment. I'm actually seeking approval from this lady right now.
Yeah.
Let's just step back. Let's just love myself and love the part that's seeking approval and give it some love directly instead of it going that way and then coming back.
I feel that.
Triple handling it. So there are different masks and identity that still run the game that I'm aware of, that I just want to love, and it all just comes down to love, man. And I feel like if there is a deep, and this is for any action on earth, if there is a deeper justification that you can provide to your actions that serve you and honors you, then do it. If that means changing your name, do it.
True.
I'm not in favor of altering the physical, but if that really helps you and that's your truth, then do it.
Beautiful. Wow, man, that was so beautifully put. I need to regain my composure for a second and reframe what we're going to step into next, but I want to step into something a little bit different. There's a TikTok trend going around where you get someone charismatic, and we're going to review the world's most beautiful women of the last 100 years on TikTok right now. And I'll put the photos up on the...
This I'm made for.
Fuck yes, bro. I spent some time memorizing some names. Here we go.
Oof, man. I just want to say, all women, even before I do this, all women I see in my eyes as extremely beautiful, and they should be treated like queens on earth. And I'm so down to appreciate all women, regardless of shape, color, size, no teeth, eyebrows, like whatever it is. I'm down to appreciate all.
100%.
And I also appreciate beauty that my body and my eyes like to see as well. So when I review this, I wish not to rank these women above or below anyone. I'm just gonna give the expression of what ignites me as a man. Yeah.
Personal taste.
Personal taste.
It's all just a bit of fun, to be honest.
Yes.
All right.
And a little bit of fun. Let's go, baby.
Alrighty, guys. We've got Chocolate Daddy in the house, dance connoisseur, former stripper, and charismatic leader, to review some of the world's most beautiful women over the last 100 years. And up first, we've got Catherine Zeta-Jones from the 90s. What are we feeling?
Damn. I love the eyebrows, man. I'm a jawline kind of guy. Sharp, vixen. I like.
Nice. All right.
I like.
Number 2,
Catherine who?
Lita Jones. Yeah. Now we've got Lana Turner from the 50s.
Ooh.
One of the beautiful women back in the day.
I could listen to her sing. I don't even know if she sings, but she looks like she got a nice voice. Yeah, subtle. Gorgeous, bro. Gorgeous.
All right, here we go. All right.
This is so good.
It is, right?
This is so good.
We've got a classic here, Marilyn Monroe from the 60s, former lover of JFK.
Okay, like personally, I know she was a pin-up model and all that, but I don't know, man. Marilyn Monroe is not for me, bro.
Fair enough, man.
Not for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Apparently she had seductive powers from the planet of Venus that she could just turn on and off.
What?
Yep. Yes, she would just be ordinary human being, right? Walking through the city, she's with one of her friends, and she goes to her friends, "Oh, do you want to see me turn into Marilyn Monroe with this alter ego we're talking about?" So she's like, "Okay, do it." She just goes into this zone, quickly, bang. Same clothes, same everything. There's a little strut in her walk, this energetic field just shifts, and people are like driving past, like slowing down, like people are turning their heads like, holy shit, that's her, just from the energetic shift.
Whoa!
Yeah. So wow! Apparently different planets have different powers. So Venus is like a very strong, feminine, seductive energy, which you can tune into and tap into and align with that, you know? So she was like a master of the art.
Wow!
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Hey,
I didn't even know that.
powerful. What do we got here now?
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, what's this girl's name? Pretty sure this is Cindy Crawford from the 80s.
Ooh, man.
Very classy.
I like that. Latina looking women, I like. Yeah, red lips. Yes, wife material.
Beautiful as a pass right there. All right. We're gonna do 2 more. One of my personal favorites. This is Megan Fox from the current day.
Man, you can't fault Megan Fox. I can't. I don't know about her relationship with MGK and what they get up to, but
Hey, man.
you, me, all day, baby. All day.
Fuck yes. All right. Now,
This cacao, man. This cacao is like a blend between Milo and cacao.
one of my personal favorites.
Emma Watson. Emma Watson.
Mighty Ranger.
Nah, bro. Not me.
No?
No.
I'm slightly hurt.
Not me.
All right, well, last one. Here we go. What have we got here? We got Grace Kelly. Voted the
Grace
most
Kelly?
alive.
Grace
Back
Kelly.
in the 50s or 60s, I'm pretty sure.
She looks cool, but it doesn't do anything for me.
Nothing for you.
No. It doesn't
Heard it
ignite
here
me.
first.
It doesn't ignite me. No. No.
And we're done. Beautiful.
We're done.
That's immaculate, man.
And yeah, man, like just in regards to like women as well, while we're on the topic of women, I'm going through such a beautiful journey with rediscovering who I am as a man with women. And I'm on the journey of abstinence at the moment for this whole year, and I haven't broken that. In the past, when I was really, really, really young, like primary school, I had women friends, like lady friends. And they were great, and I was innocent, and I wasn't really like tapped into my sexuality then. But as soon as I breached into puberty and was stepping into a realm where I was feeling things sexually, my whole relationship around women changed. I didn't have the proper guidance as to who women were in this world, how I should treat them, how I should see them, how I should be around them, etc. And there was a part of my life where I really, I guess my relationship with women were just like, if I'm not sleeping with you, then I'm not with you. And I didn't have any women friends in my life. And now in my journey, I have some beautiful queens as my friends and who I spend time with, who I share with and open up with. And there isn't anything sexual there, and it's a beautiful union, man. And I feel like I've learnt so much about women in the last 4 to 5 months in this journey of abstinence. I just have to say, with like I love doing things for fun, especially like reviewing women and like seeing what I like and what I don't. Treating them as humans is so needed, because I wasn't treating them as humans. I was just treating them as a secondary, as an option where I could be like, okay, if you can satisfy my need, if you can satisfy something that I want, then you are valid in my reality. And that was only because that was only because of my behavior of jacking off to porn and being consumed by how women were treated in porn, and that being my only energetic reference and education about sex as well. I saw women so differently, and now that I'm stepped away from porn, stepped away from having sex, and sex being in the equation, it's shifted so much for me. And what I said in the start, like I really want to appreciate all women of all shapes and sizes and forms. And I just feel like, as men, we should step into the responsibility of just taking the opportunity to appreciate all women. Although they weren't, some of those women weren't my taste, I just want to say I fucking love each and every one of them and appreciate them. And
beautiful.
This goes out to all the kings out there as well. If there's a moment in your day and time that you can take and actually gift an appreciation for women out there, that would be a blessing. That would be a blessing.
Beautiful, man. I relate heavily to that story, hey. 'Cause I remember in year 1, I had this best friend. Her name was Kezia. We were just inseparable. Caught the bus to school together, like always hanging out, like just like being in that open-hearted place of play and fun. And I remember after a few months in, they merged our school buses with the high school kids' buses. So we would catch the bus together, and these high school kids, probably year 8, year 9, and I'm in year 1, I'm like 5 or 6, started bullying us for like being a couple, like boyfriend, girlfriend, this and that. Like really harsh, to the point where some of them would throw water on me and like really get up in my space. Like it was pretty terrible. And I remember just shutting down in that moment and like actually separating from her and like sitting somewhere else or whatever the case may be, because I was like so ashamed that these older men who I viewed as like authority figures or somewhat gods or whatever, because it's the age difference, and that fully turned me away from women. I didn't have any women friends for ages. And I started getting introduced into porn in year 6, year 5, like from other kids, and then viewing women differently. And I had this huge divide from me and women from that traumatic experience to introduction of porn, and I'm only sort of mending now. Because all my friendships with women back in the day would either be like, if you're not, I got to sleep with you, or I'm not with you. And that would be conflicting me there. I'd have like good friends and they would fall in love with me, or I'd fall in love with them, or just be mixed match, and you couldn't hold that energy. But it's amazing how, if you look at society and external validation for reasonings, I know a lot of celebrities who talk about men and women can't be friends because the man's always going to want to move in and things of that nature. You see it on TikTok or on social media, or people like Tate, you see Tate Andrews, where they have this over-masculine or this toxic masculine approach to it, where women need to be serving you for you to be with them, But it's a terrible thing, but I'm glad people like yourself are walking and talking the talk and walking the walk to help men recalibrate that and bring women and men back together in divine union, whether as friends or as lovers or as acquaintances. To hold that energy without any expectation or desire. Which is amazing, bro. Salute, bro.
Oos, brother. And just on the topic of that as well, man, like what really came to me was like, yes, I seek approval and validation from women from a space of like, if I give something, I want something back in return, and I'm stepping away from that. But here's the truth. Like, every single man on earth, regardless of age, once they receive, that acceptance or that form of validation from a woman, man, it energizes the fuck out of me. It really ignites me when a woman comes up to me and be like, hey, I just really wanted to let you know XYZ, I appreciate it, and keep doing your thing. I'm like, whoa, I really needed that. And it just gives something to my spirit, something to my soul that nourishes me, man. And it's a drug. It's a drug. And this is the power that they have as women. Like you were talking about Marilyn Monroe, how she can just like step into her essence so much that she slows down time and space for people to slow down and be like, whoa, right? That's the power that they have. And with this power queens, they can actually use this to good. They can use this power to come and gift a man some appreciation as well and be like, hey, love what you're doing, and and actually ignite him more and further into his purpose, into his mission, into his journey, his path with so much more fuel. And I strongly believe that in a household, the man is the head, but the queen is the neck. And whatever the neck turns is where the man looks. So they have the power to turn a man's focus, into a direction where it's of service to not only that man, but also to that household.
True.
And queens, they hold so much power and they do not realize. And most of these other queens out there that are empowering the queens to waken up and embrace this power and embrace who they are, I love them so much. And I just think it's also our responsibility to do that as well, to let women know that they are powerful, let women know that they actually can change this world by gifting appreciation to other men. And as men, we can lead from a space of being centered in our own mission without needing their validation, without needing that acceptance. But once we get it, we can appreciate it,
Beautiful. And what would you say to any man or woman who is seeking or searching a greater purpose or a greater gift or a connection with God, kind of a little bit lost, stuck in the matrix, so to speak? How would you help them or guide them into finding more purpose in their lives and taking action on that?
Those are two very big things, man. Finding purpose and taking action. But once you find purpose, actually it goes hand to hand. It goes hand to hand. You have to take action to find your purpose. And once you find your purpose, taking action wouldn't be a problem.
A nice loop.
It is a beautiful loop. And I'm just going to speak from my experience. Keep searching. Keep searching. Keep doing the things that ignite your spirit. Keep doing the things that your body goes, that energy, like that, what you feel, what your body is expressing as, is truth. Is truth. And if you can do more of those things and keep living from that space where you are honoring your body's expression and more, and where your body's like, I want more of that. And if it's coming from a great place, that is your purpose. Just be you. Just do things that excite you. For me, I've always, ever, only fucking done what I wanted to do, man. When my father was like, go to university, I did it for a little bit. I'm like, I don't like it. I want to do me.
Yeah.
And I want to do things that excite me and ignite me, and things that are coming from a space within. It always pulled me closer to my purpose. And then, this is the most important part. And some people, they will find their purpose further down the track, like 30 years or 40 years, some even 50 years old. But they've been living their life in such a monotonous, automated, following routines, putting on the mask that society has already prepared for them. That is huge. Putting on the identity that society has already prepared for you. It's like, hey bro, do you want to do college and work as this job? Do you want to be this profession? This is the blueprint. If you follow that, yes, you can be really happy doing those things. And I've met so many people that are passionate and they find purpose in their job. However, for me, I feel like create your own identity. Do things like, I'm a creative, and I just as a creative, I can't be boxed in. I can't be given a blueprint like, do it this exact way. I'm like, where's the fun in that?
True.
Where's the fun in doing it exactly how you've told me to do it? So the real work is following your intuition, doing things that ignite you, and then, man, getting a coach.
Yeah.
Getting a fucking coach. Get a coach. Get a coach that is doing something that you love.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed you've worked with a great man, G. Madison.
Still do, bro.
Still do.
I'm actually going to go to work with him after this.
Beautiful. So
yes.
he's just, in the small time I've spent with him, a lot of lessons come through in multiple ways. What are some of the key takeaways that you've taken from him and his teachings that have really impacted you?
G. Madison is a quotable man.
Is
a quotable man. Key takeaways. That's a very hard question, man. I have 2 or 3 pages of his quotes. The one thing that I still apply right now is run through the finish line, not to the finish line.
Fuck yeah.
run through the finish line. I would have a goal, for example, the end of Round of Amongst Men, which is an eight-week journey. And I would always burn out on the 8th week. I would always burn out because that's when I considered the finish line was. And I was like, if I can make it to the end of round, I'm good. And I would burn out. But with this quote, run through the finish line, I'm not even thinking about the 8 weeks, bro. I'm thinking about the next 2 rounds that's coming.
Nice. And you notice, just from that one quote being your belief now, you've actually seen yourself not draining at the end.
No. I'm not focusing on one step. I'm not focusing on one goal. I'm focusing on, yes, this is the goal, but what is the vision behind the goal? And what is the vision beyond that? And how can I get there? And this is the real finish line. But how can I run through there? And then while I'm running through, yes, I'll have my rest and my recovery, but then the finish line just moves. And I'm like, cool, there's a new finish line for me, and I'm gonna run through that. And running through finish lines requires a lot of preparation, man. A lot of preparation, a lot of sacrifice, because if I'm gonna have to make it all the way over there, I wanna be wearing the best shoes. I don't wanna be carrying a lot of weight. I don't wanna be distracted. I wanna have people in my corner that's fucking cheering me on, supporting me and hyping me up and giving me the belief that I require to get me to that place. Putting people in my corner like coaches that are like, bro, do X, Y, Z, you will make sure that you'll get to the end of the finish line. Coaches are so good and so important. There's such a big stigma about coaches in the scene where people are considering personal development coaches as sham. Yes, there are people out there that sham you for your money, due diligence, but also, man, I have G Madison in my corner as my dance coach. I have Alex Waters in my corner as my business coach. My business has doubled, not even even tripling right now because I have a coach in that field. And this is another thing, man. I've never learned how to swim. I've drowned twice. And I have such a big fear around swimming. Sky is teaching me how to swim. He is a triathlete, and we do swimming lessons every Tuesday. Wow. And I now have a breathwork coach as well, who's coaching me on how to breathe properly. And I have coaches in every corner that are helping me, preparing me to run through the fucking finish line, bro.
That's fucking
It's changed my life. Just that one quote. Yeah, it's changed my life.
That's amazing, man, how one quote can do that.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Now, can I take you left field a bit?
Please, bro. I like it. I like it.
I've noticed you've had, and you shared some stories with me about some really intense dreams you've been having, and sometimes like out there experiences you just sort of, what the hell just happened there? You know?
Yes.
We're talking like some paranormal type things.
Yeah.
What do you think dreams are? And in your case, what are some of these epic experiences that you've had?
I'm going to share something that happened 3 days ago, 2 to 3 days ago,
Let's
back
do
to
it.
back.
Let's keep an eye on that light. Easy, bro.
Sweet. So, firstly, I believe dreams are here as our symbols, our compass. And when I say compass, a part of me is like, bro, I've had some fucked up dreams where I'm like, what the fuck was that? Why did I even need to see that or experience that? And we'll leave that as it is. But recently, 3 days ago, I have been, so one of the things that I've really struggled with as an entrepreneur is getting to sleep on time and waking up early. I am so jacked up at night, bro, that I'm doing a lot of work and I'm like journaling and my routine just carries out to like 11:30, then I sleep and I wake up at like 9. And I just told myself, hey, I want to wake up earlier, which means I have to sleep earlier. I have been getting to bed on time, and me just like telling myself like, Douglas, we're gonna get up early. I had this dream like Tuesday, bro. The dream was I was in a car, I was driving my car, and I was like in the state in my dream where I was like asleep, but like just barely open. My eyes were just like barely open, and I could see the red lights of the car in front of me. And I was like, cool. As long as I can just half asleep and follow this car, I'll be sweet. I don't know where the fuck I'm driving. And then the car fucking moves and it goes away. I'm like, oh shit. Now I'm on the road. I'm like, no, I really cannot drive. I need to brake on the side of the road and just sleep. I put my foot down, bro. And the fucking car, put my foot down on the brake, but the car started accelerating. I was like, and I'm like, no. And then I just see the car going straight into another car.
Oh man.
And I just crash. But as I crashed, I woke up. And as I woke up, bling, my alarm goes off. 7:30. And I'm like, holy shit. What the? No, 6:30 goes up. And I'm like, how did I wake up just before my alarm? And why was there a crash? I'm like, fuck, man. That's an intense way to wake up. I got up. Wednesday, the next day, I'm getting up at 6, right? Bro, I shit you not. I put my alarm for 6 o'clock. A car drives past my house, blaring like woo, and screeching noises, and it was just horrendous to hear that. I was like, and it felt like the car was losing control. And I was like, oh no. And then as soon as I got up after the car drove past, alarm goes off.
Wow.
Yeah. As soon as I blink my eye open, it's like, boom, alarm just goes off. And I'm like, that is crazy.
That's next level.
That is crazy how I got a premonition of like how I was going to wake up the next day. So there's one aspect of that. I do get premonitions from my dreams. I mean, it's happened quite irregularly. And I've had some cool ones in the past as well. But here's another component to dream, man. And like this really confuses me as well. And I think this taps into like the multidimensional world. Me as Douglas here on earth, I speak the words that I am a weapon of God consistently. I'm a weapon of God. I'm here for good. I'm here to serve the light. There has been a lot of different dreams where I've been activated into dream world, where I am either mid-battle fighting other things, other aliens, or I'm in a mission. I'm carrying out a mission and I'm eliminating things, and these darker forces are there, and they are chameleons, and they can morph into other people. They can morph into like schoolgirls. I had this one dream where these like chameleon race parked up their submarine on the shore, and they had these access levels on this earth where they can just like walk everywhere, and they had to deliver a package to a certain person, but that package we wanted to interfere. And I just started chasing them, and then they all turned into school kids, and I had to like shoot these fucking school kids. But no mercy, bro. I was just so zoned in. I'm like, you, gone. And I picked up the package and I walked away. And I'm like, and then I woke up. I'm like, what the fuck? What was that?
Like the Mandalorian, bro.
Yeah. And there are strange dreams that I wake up to that are just words, just darkness and words.
Wow.
And they could be from different languages and like whispers as well. Like, listen to the whispers in the echo. And like, what the fuck is whispers in the echo? And just like words.
Wow.
And I really believe in the dreams that we have in this wake stage, because there are dreams that I have when my body is fully resting, right? And I feel like that's when my consciousness drifts to somewhere else. But then the dreams that I have when I'm here awake, those dreams, this is I love this. The visions that I have and I can see in my mind for myself right now, it's like, okay, imagine where I am in 3 years' time, consciously. These dreams and visions that I have, they are just manifestations that I'm pulling in. And these are dreams that I can take action on. These are conscious projections into the future. I'm like, cool, 3 years down the track, what's my finish line? Cool, how can I do that right now? How can I be that right now?
And do these come to you, or do you create those visions?
I create them.
You create them?
I create them, yeah. And these, and I say that I'm a creative, and I really throw myself into the future and catch that vision, man, and I like really am there, and I'm like, cool, what am I experiencing? What's around me? What am I driving? What am I feeling? What am I doing? What am I smelling? How am I being? And like, how can I be that now? What excites me in the future?
So activating all those senses and then fully
bringing it back in. Yeah, 5 senses, 6, and then bring it. And the 6th sense is that, like throwing it afar and catching it, and then pulling it in and making it my reality. It works. It fucking works. Everything that I'm doing in life right now is my dream self, my dream stage that I planned 3 or 6 months ago.
Amazing.
And what I'm doing right now what I said to myself, I was like, in 2 to 3 years' time, it's happening like 6 months down the road. So
the 6 months is about the delay in time where things start to take shape.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some things are quicker. Some things are way, way quicker. It's like the next day. Yeah. There's been moments where I'm like, I want to perform a show, and then I'll just get a message like, hey, you want to perform a show? And I'm like, what the fuck? And yeah, man, the way the doors of this mystical universe opens up in my life, and the opportunity that flows in from dream state, awakened dream state is magic.
Damn. That's beautiful. Another question I want to ask you. It's about charisma.
Hey.
There's a few people I've met in my life, maybe like 2 or 3 that I know of, who have this charisma that can pull people in, they can captivate, they can perform, they can turn on and off, and it opens doors for them that just don't open for other people. Have you ever heard of the third door theory?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this magical third door that's created by charisma and visioning. What are the keys to charisma, and how does a man or woman activate that within them?
Okay, so charismatic. I've always been called charismatic ever since I was young. I it's something that I am, and it's hard for me to break down what that is.
It's very, very natural.
It's very natural. At the same time, I'll be honest with you, man. There are some periods of my life where I was so sucked into depression and I wasn't charismatic. And I studied people that were charismatic. I'm like, what do these guys do? Like, what are they doing? And the one thing that I've noticed that they do is they relax. They relax in like every environment that they walk into. They are so like spread out. The level of ownership they take in the space is huge. Like for myself, when I walk in anywhere, I just believe that this is my earth and this is my home.
Yeah.
This is my home. And although this is your home and I'm a guest in it, I'm so comfortable and relaxed here because I believe like we are here as one, right? And I have so much respect for you. And this is your home and I would not do anything to disrespect it.
Yeah.
I will treat this as my own home. But yeah, I just relax so much. And from this space of being so relaxed, I try to have as much fun as I can. Try to bring as much play in as I can. And you know what? A better word, adventure. Adventure. The third door theory, that is adventurous. It takes a lot of courage to walk through that third door. And for those who do not know what the third door is, it's just a door that you create for yourself. So a really good example is like if you're trying to get into a restaurant, it's fully booked out, there's no way you can get in. It's just like having a chat to the manager, like, hey, is there a way and chance that we can, sit down in this place and create that opportunity for yourself to enjoy that night? The manager's like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's like, hey man, I will, just talk to them and charm them. Charm them is like, I'll love you so much.
Yeah.
And I'll be the best customer ever.
Yeah.
And in that moment, they might be like, you know what? All right, let's do it. Third door is that, and that takes a lot of courage to step into that alternate reality where you see something that you want so bad and you create that for yourself. And charisma, man, like all I can say is just flavor. Just comes down to flavor. And flavor only comes once you know who you are.
Oh.
Once you fully know who you are and you're so confident in who you are, right? And you know your moves, you know how your body moves, you know how you speak, and you know what you like to say, etc. Once you have that and once you can express yourself so confidently, flavor comes in, and flavor is charisma. Flavor is like your own touch, your own style. Yeah. Beautiful,
man. Wow. All right. Now, if you were to go back in time, 2 occasions. One occasion, you have to go back and you need to give advice to your 17-year-old self. We'll just start with that. What would you say? Or
17. Ooh, man.
Just finishing high school.
My young man. Just one thing.
Whatever you would say. You get a conversation or.
Okay. What's up, Doug? People called me Doug when I was young. I just want to say that you are a confident young man, and that the opinions that you care so much about in your life from other people is not as important as what you think about yourself. what you think about yourself is number one. Number one. And also, bro, you are going to be so successful. You're going to be so successful. You're going to be impacting a lot of people on this earth with your personality, with your essence. So just keep being you. Keep being you. And do not, and I repeat this, do not people please. Oos.
Oos.
Yeah.
Bro, that was solid, man. That was solid. All right. So I want to ask a few more questions, but I feel like we've got a good solid hour here of this perfection. Was there anything you wanted to speak on? Anything that I missed out? Anything you want to express?
Yeah, bro. I am in deep gratitude for you, bro.
Thank you, man.
Meeting you in my life was so needed for me as well, and I love what you said at the start of this journey, how I came into your life to teach you XYZ about your growth and your journey, and for so long I felt so lost with the astral and the dream world and all of that, and just meeting you has given me so much faith to just be more me, because I wouldn't have shared that to anyone, and I felt so comfortable sharing that with you. And yeah, you give me so much faith in who I am right now, because I got so consumed by the spiritual awakened woke world, and when I was there, I just met a lot of people that were ungrounded, and I was extremely ungrounded myself.
Yeah.
But I hadn't met someone that is so tapped into that realm and so tapped into spirit and these other realms, but also so grounded on earth. I hadn't met someone like that, and then meeting you was that example for me. I'm like, wow, man, it is actually so possible to be so tapped in there and also be so grounded here to channel information and deliver.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was important for me to have come across you. I send you a lot of blessings for this beautiful, beautiful venture, man. I really see you standing tall on your hill. Yep, as a king. I feel like in the past, I've really seen you stand with the herd and with other people, and you were shining as the herd and as a group. But now it's just you, bro. And that takes a lot of courage to step into the spotlight as yourself, and take action as you, as a leader, leading the pack. So thank you for doing
Appreciate that,
man.
bro. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a wild journey, man. But touching on into different groups, you entered a good subject here, right? I spent a lot of time in different groups, different collections, but going into more of a spiritual community where people are sort of quite tapped in and they're sort of a little bit, we're saying, a little bit floaty, a little bit hippie-ish, but not so grounded. Where we have this notion where for us to be spiritual or to tune in or be a shaman or whatever these words, we need to be quite spacey and hippie and psychedelics and going a little bit too far into it. But some of the people that I know who are the most spiritually profound and tapped in are so grounded you would never know them walking on the street. They have businesses, they're successful, they don't talk too much about it. Like one of the biggest things for me to balance was my stepdad being a fundamentalist Christian, like everything's demonic and a conspiracy. Then my dad, who was super spiritual and he can channel and those sorts of things, and I had to like combine those two. And as I stepped into taking what's best from the Bible and Christianity, adding my own flavor onto it, but keeping some kind of a fundamental basis, feet on the ground, you can really have these amazing experiences when you connect with Christ consciousness, when you connect with Shiva, when you can truly feel them embodying you as your consciousnesses merge, and you can upgrade like that. Yeah. Without being too spacey or over the top. You know? Because your reputation is very powerful. And you don't want to lose that for anything. Especially in this game, you know? In the business world, in networking, it's just, you got to make sure you can relate to all kinds of people and meet them where they're at and help them and guide them any way you can. But that being said, in different communities, have you ever had to deal with things like, you've heard of things like the bad eye or envy or things of that nature? Because the more people you have in your circle you're connected to, usually associates to more drama and more things of that nature. How do you keep yourself clean and safe, your energy protected, and stay clear from those sort of negative situations?
I love this question. I love this question.
I've fallen into it pretty bad in the last few months.
So we actually spoke about this in last night call in Amongst Men.
Beautiful.
So I asked the Kings, what is one value you can bring into your friendship groups that you can embody embody in relationships, right? And it's important to think of what values we hold to ourselves as individuals, and also what values we want to share together as a collective.
Yeah.
What I've realized in my walk of life, when it comes to groups, it is so important to speak boundaries to people and they should fucking know these boundaries when it comes to negative, lower vibrational activities and behaviors that do not align with you. And we can put that boundary down in such a loving place. I'm going to give two scenarios where I've done this, and it's made my life so much better, and what I'm experiencing from my friendship group is fucking lit. So I was in a group of friends before, and who I was in this group over time, like over 6 to 8 months, from who I was to who I was in 6 to 8 months was a different man, but they were still holding me on to as the Douglas that they met way back in the day. And I'd taken all this action, all these changes in my life, and they were not willing to see me for the man that I am right now. And what existed in the previous version of who I am and what I allowed to happen in my space was gossip, and was hatred, like speeches of hate, like people just fucking hating on things, and a couple of other things that I won't mention, but those two are great examples.
Yeah.
And I allowed that to happen. And further down the track, I realized that it is actually not of integrity for me to hear my friends bitch, moan, and gossip about someone else that we know when they are not here in the space. Because it made me feel really unsafe, firstly, because I knew that if they were talking shit about them here, when I'm not around, they're probably talking shit about me too. So I told them, I'm like, man, I just want to put down a boundary now, and I just want to say that I don't want to hear any gossip when I'm around. I don't appreciate it. If you ever want to speak to that person, go speak to them directly instead of gossiping in here. If you were to gossip, I will only allow that to happen if we pray for that person. If you pray for that person at the end of the gossip to clear that energy, to send them love and to bless them. So we close that.
Beautiful.
Right? And once I spoke these boundaries into the space, they fucking left. And we're not friends anymore. And then I realized, if they cannot respect my boundaries, they were never for me. And it showed. It showed so much, because they never showed up for me too in the journey of our friendship. They never truly showed up for me the way that other friends showed up for me. And once they were not, it was like, what the fuck, these boundaries? Fuck you, bro. And once they left, the space that they left was filled in by people that are aligned to my value. And the stronger boundaries that I had with my friends and speaking it to my friends, it created a stronger energy around the friends that I have right now. And the conversations that we have are not of gossip, are not of hatred, are of expansion, or of love, or of celebration, or of honoring each other.
Beautiful.
And that's what I want to be around, man.
Bro, I fucking love that, because I feel the same thing happening with me. With certain friends, especially older friends that I know, when I go back and spend time with them, I can feel my old self clawing back into me, where old jokes and old things, I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? I don't want to be in that space. And I have so much fear of letting go of those people, or I feel like I'm rude or arrogant or whatever else may be. But I'm still worried about their opinions as I'm trying to leave and move forward. But then I realized that the quote that Jesus said, many don't know, is like, a prophet will never be accepted in his hometown, because you're held to the standard that you once were. You're not allowed to grow. And when you do grow, they can say things like, oh, that's ego, that's this, that's that. They start to justify with all these different labels because your growth is threatening, or they just can't, there's a big disparity there. But Jesus himself had to deal with this, because radical transformation isn't always easy to do, and you need to leave something behind. Like, you know, it's a sacrifice.
It is.
Or it's perceived sacrifice, but.
I love that. I love that. And yeah, man, like, and this is another thing that I encourage in friendship groups as well, is, especially being around friends, they notice us grow so much. Really just take note of who is celebrating you and who's actually clapping for you when you win. Because I've noticed so many people in my life that hung around me, but they didn't celebrate me. They didn't celebrate my wins. They weren't hyping me up. And they'd be like, oh, cool. You know, oh, I'm really happy for you, man. Like, disgenuine celebrations like that. There are signs and symptoms all over people when I'm winning, and I just chose to turn a blind eye on them. And those were the exact people that weren't meant for me.
Yeah.
And I chose them. I chose them for the sake of love and acceptance and the memories that we shared together. Although these memories are beautiful and are hard to let go of people, we can still cherish those memories and we can still catch up with them every now and then, but it's important to like let them know who you are. It's like, hey man, this is who I am right now. And you might know me, like having an honest conversation, like you might know me as a person that did X, Y, Z. I don't have anything against it. I love old Brett that did all of these things, but new Brett, like who I am right now, I really value X, Y, Z, and it just does not align.
Beautiful. Yeah, it reminds me of the 10th law in Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws of Power. And the 10th law is avoid the unhappy and the miserable and the negative. And every law has a reversal. This law does not. Only because when you're with certain people, like me especially, I have some friends who are very negative and pessimistic and all that kind of stuff. And when I spend time with them, I can feel that energy consuming me. And in certain moments I see people who are on their path, on their mission, on their purpose, at the same party of someone who I know is sort of down in the dumps and quite negative. But there's a part of me that wants to go speak to them because I feel like I want to help them, or I feel like I'm more comfortable with them, more safe with them. And I had this moment, like this big insight. I'm like, why are you choosing that? You know? And it's maybe, oh, you're people pleasing or this and that, but I'm just comfortable in that energy. But when I went somewhere else with these guys who were like rapping and making their record label, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable in their energy. But I'm just listening to them speak. I'm like, wow, you're modeling everyone that you're hanging out with.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not. So that is just so important to make those decisions and distinctions and that boundary. So I love the way you articulated that, because many dots connected for me just then.
Yes, sir.
And just seeing the representation of that happening in the flesh is so beautiful to have. So thank you very much, bro. We'll end it there.
Oof.
That was solid, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.